On the broadcast tonight, we'll be covering the sentencing of a former Shippensburg University employee.
And we'll celebrate the Wood Honors College's 40th anniversary.
All that and more right now on SCTV News.
Good evening and welcome back to this week's broadcast with the latest news. I'm Haley Galaskis.
And I'm Maddie Shively. This past Tuesday was the anticipated CJM Day here on campus. To celebrate all of our visual, broadcast, and PR majors, several guest speakers came to give panels. These guests included Jason Plotkin and Doug Lagore, who talked about life as photojournalists. Liz Kemery, Rachel McDevitt, and Shippensburg's own Stephanie Whitmer then discussed presenting impactful stories. Afterwards, Zach Fish, the voice of the Hershey Bears, ran a panel about live sports commentary. Finally, Perry Mattern and Megan Silverstrom gave an interesting talk about the modern social media landscape. Last night was also the CJM Awards Night, where many students were recognized for their achievements over the past year. Several scholarships and certificates were given to those who have done outstanding work for student media in their time here at Shippensburg. CJM Day was a great way to celebrate all the students who put on works like this very broadcast. Thank you all for another great year. In other on-campus news, Rylan Walls sat down with Nori Goff to talk about his initiative involving the Grace B. Loers Elementary School on campus. Let's take a look at a snippet from the interview.
When we were talking the other day, Nori had told me that he is working with G Blues, which is the Grace B. Loers Elementary School here on campus. And you had mentioned that you, before you had graduated, you had, raised some money of your own and had given it to the elementary school for underprivileged kids. To buy books at the book fair.
Yes.
Can you just elaborate on that a little bit?
So I happened to walk past the students and the book fair quite often. And then it just kind of took me back to when I was a child. And I remember, not having the financial capital to have the funds where I could get books and supplies at a book fair. And I remember what that felt like the shame and the embarrassment. And so I was like, well, I went home that day and I thought about how can I contribute in a way that helps students not feel like that as often, to the best of my ability, in a way that fits into like my means and things like that. Because at that point I was an undergrad, didn't have a full-time staff position, so money was not coming in as desirable. And so the very first semester, that spring, I decided that I would just donate money from my own personal account because I was still in the process of trying to think everything through, and it was such a challenge. But I donated a couple $100s from my personal account. I partnered with SU Foundation. They helped allocate the funds, so that was amazing.
If you're interested in learning more about Nori's initiative, the full interview will be posted on our YouTube, Shippensburg UTV, at 7:30 p.m. immediately following the conclusion of our broadcast. You can find the link to his GoFundMe in the YouTube video's description.
This weekend, Shippensburg will be welcoming back numerous alumni for the 40th anniversary of the Wood Honors College. Starting back in 1985, the Wood Honors College has seen much involvement and success. This weekend event will invite alumni back to Shippensburg to experience campus once again. This Saturday will be the Honors Day of Service, which will be followed by tours and activities for the returning members. The event will conclude with the Honors Gala at the Loers Performing Arts Center. Many of the current honor students are also volunteering to make sure this weekend is a success. If you're a member of the Wood Honors College, be sure not to miss this milestone of an event. A former Shippensburg University employee is scheduled to be sentenced this May after pleading guilty to misdemeanor theft. Anissa Burkholder of Shippensburg formerly served as the secretary to the chemistry and physics department at the university. In May of 2023, the department supervisor changed, thus causing the employees to notice missing funds. Through the police investigation, it was found that the company card that Burkholder had access to had been used at Target, Walmart, and the university bookstore, amounting to almost $15,000. As of now, Anissa has pleaded guilty to misdemeanor theft, while felony charges of forgery and theft were dropped during her pretrial conference in late March. When we come back, we discuss the possible sentencing of Luigi Mangione.
Stay tuned.
Are you failing a class or don't know what you're doing? You're in luck. Shippensburg Primary Academic Resource Center is free to all SHIP students. The Student Success Center, also known as the Learning Center, is located on the first floor of Mowry Hall. The center provides a variety of services, including course-based tutoring, writing tutoring, and learning specialists. To schedule an in-person or Zoom appointment, visit the Student Success Center collaborative website, ship.campus.eab.com. I'm Will Nicholson with SUTV.
Here at Multicultural Student Affairs, we value every student. No matter your race or ethnicity, you are guaranteed a home here. MSA offers many resources: a place to study, a place to meditate, a place to socialize, or a safe place to communicate issues or talk with a faculty member. Come down to Gilbert Hall today and join our family. Our roots run deep. Why not grow together? This is a public service announcement from MSA.
Are you having a hard time focusing on your work? Why not check out the Ezra Lehman Memorial Library? The library has many resources like the IT desk on the main floor. For computer assistants, see the experts. Need to print in black and white or color? Don't worry, the library offers both options on different floors. You can use the bottom floor for group work and the top floor for when you need silence. Don't forget to stop by Starbucks. Check out library.ship.edu for more information. This is a public service announcement from SUTV.
It's time to take a trip around the globe with Jaden Pullman in this week's World News.
Late Tuesday night, Democratic Senator Cory Booker set a filibuster record for the first time in 68 years. During his just over 25-hour speech, Booker read both prepared speeches and letters sent by constituents stating their viewpoint on the current political climate. He spoke on specific concerns such as Social Security, looming world stage conflicts, and threats to the United States at large. To help Booker reach this historical achievement, fellow Democratic senators asked questions to give him a break from speaking. Booker said that he fasted and reduced water intake in the days leading up to the historical speech. This record was previously set by Senator Strom Thurmond in 1957 during discussions of the Civil Rights Act. Before yielding the floor, Senator Booker had this to say.
Our lives, our fortunes, and our sacred honor. We need that now from all Americans. This is a moral moment. It's not left or right, it's right or wrong. Let's get in good trouble. My friend, Madam President, I yield the floor.
The Israeli military launched a missile strike on Beirut Friday, March 28th, months after a ceasefire deal was reached in November of 2024. Israel said it was targeting a building that was said to be storing Hezbollah drones. Quote, "We will not allow any fire on our communities, not even a trickle," end quote, said Israel's prime minister. Also stating, quote, "We will continue to enforce the ceasefire with strength, strike anywhere in Lebanon against any threat to the state of Israel, and ensure that all of our residents in the north return to their homes safely," end quote. Israeli military warned people to evacuate and showed residents where the strike would occur. While there were no immediate reports of casualties, it has been reported that 18 people have been killed by Israel drone, air, and artillery strikes in the past week. Last week, a massive earthquake hit the country of Myanmar. The 7.7 magnitude earthquake hit near the city of Mandalay. It was reported to have brought down thousands of buildings, destroying vital infrastructure for the city. The death toll has raised to over 3,000 people, with rescue workers discovering bodies as they search through the devastated city. The military-led government, as well as numerous humanitarian aid groups, have been trying to provide survivors with medical aid and emergency shelter. Myanmar has been struggling through a civil war since 2021. This earthquake has only made the dire situation worse for the civilians. As the fallout of this devastating earthquake continues in the coming weeks, humanitarian aid groups will continue to help the victims of this natural disaster. The Department of Justice has made a statement directing prosecutors to seek the death penalty against Luigi Mangione. Mangione is being tried for the murder of Brian Thompson, the CEO of United Healthcare. He pleaded not guilty to the state charges. Mangione's attorney, Karen Friedman, said the decision to pursue the death penalty is political. She continued saying the federal government was, quote, defending the broken, immoral, murderous healthcare industry that continues to terrorize the American people, end quote. Luigi Mangione is due back in federal court on April 18th, where this controversial case will continue. A disaster occurred in the Red Sea this past week. A tourist submarine manned by the Egyptian tourist company Sinbad sank in the middle of a trip. 6 Russian tourists were killed during the disaster, while 39 others were able to escape. Reports suggest that either the submarine was not properly sealed or that a collision caused them to take on water. All of this has raised questions on how safe Egypt's maritime tourism is. Past events have seen the use of poor equipment and ignorance of safety protocols. Authorities have begun an investigation on the crewmates, but many such investigations have ended with little consequence. We can only hope for justice for the victims of this disaster. This has been World News. I'm Jaden Pullman. Now back to Haley and Maddie at the desk.
When we come back, we take a look at our weekly weather forecast.
Stay tuned.
A lethal dose is in here. Who gets it, I won't know.
Scary that it can be put into anything. We can't even see it or notice it.
There's been another deadly shooting at a local elementary school. According to authorities, the suspect acquired the gun from a family member's home before using it to take the lives of innocent children and teachers.
Store your gun securely, locked, unloaded, and away from ammo.
You can talk to me if you're feeling sad.
Thanks for hearing me out, bro.
Whenever you need to talk, I'm here, okay?
There's only one thing that will save somebody's life, and that is naloxone nasal spray. Get 911 on the phone, get the emergency responses there on their way.
The impact of a meal goes well beyond feeding our bodies. Because when people are fed, futures are nourished. Everyone deserves to live a full life. And with your help, together we can end hunger. Join the movement at feedingamerica.org/actnow.
Well, today we got a little taste of those April showers everybody's been talking about. It's been pretty sticky outside today.
I gotta say though, it is contributing to some pretty great May flowers. Walking around campus, the trees are blooming. It's looking pretty great out there.
Very true. Let's toss it over to Caroline Cooper with this week's weather report.
Thanks, Haley and Maddie. I agree. These flowers have been beautiful all over campus. We have our cherry blossoms and they are just stunning. But unfortunately, we can't fully enjoy them because of all of this rain. Today we woke up and we had some cold rainy weather, then it dropped off, and then now we're seeing the warm weather again. As you can tell, we have our temperature is around 79-80 degrees, but the rain is coming down, and this will continue into tomorrow and throughout the weekend as well. So looking at tomorrow's weather, we'll be seeing the temperatures drop down. It'll be around 62 degrees. We're seeing an 80% chance of rain around all day long, and this will be continuing all throughout the day and into the night into Saturday and Sunday. So let's take a look at this weekend. So Friday and Saturday, as I said, we're seeing high of 60s, we're seeing showers continuing, and then Sunday as well, we'll be seeing a scattering of thunderstorms as well, so make sure you have your umbrellas and raincoats out because it just will not stop. As we go into the week, we'll be seeing the rain dropping a bit and the temperatures are dropping as well, so they'll be in the mid-50s, but we will be seeing the rain go away and a little bit of clouds. So for Tuesday, we finally will be able to put those umbrellas and raincoats away because we'll be seeing that temperature and those clouds bring away, and then we'll be seeing the sun come out as well. So it'll be around 43-degree high, so it will be a little bit cool. And then Wednesday into Thursday, we'll be seeing the temperatures rise back up again, and it will be sunny as well. That's all I have for this week's weather. Hopefully it gets a little bit clearer. I'm hoping so. I'm Caroline Cooper. Now over to Lex with entertainment.
Has officially announced its cast, and it's stacked with talent. Harris Dickinson will play John Lennon, Paul Mescal takes on Paul McCartney, Barry Keoghan will star as Ringo Starr, and Joseph Quinn will portray George Harrison. Director Sam Mendes is taking a unique approach with 4 separate films, each one focusing on a different band member's story. This is the first time a project like this has been approved with full music rights from the Beatles estate. With a cast this strong and a new take on the legendary band, these films are set to be a must-watch when they hit theaters in April 2028. The trailer has been released for the newest installment by these award-winning horror directors. Bring Her Back is the new horror film brought to us by Australian filmmakers Daniel and Michael Philippou. The film follows 2 siblings after they experience a dark ritual performed by their new foster mother. Releasing nearly 3 years after the brothers' last film, Talk to Me, from 2022, Bring Her Back will be coming to theaters May 13th. If you're a horror enthusiast, be sure to check out the brothers' next project. The gaming juggernaut Nintendo has unveiled its newest console experience. Here with more is SUTV's JD Durazio.
Nintendo has officially unveiled the Switch 2. The original hybrid game console came out 8 years ago and was wildly successful. With this sequel, Nintendo must prove it can follow one blockbuster hit with another. The Switch 2 will launch on June 5th for $450, which is quite a bit more than the first generation model's $300 price tag. In January, the video game company disclosed only the new console's design and compatibility with previous generation games. But on Wednesday, Nintendo revealed specific details about the Switch 2 for the first time, including specifics and hardware. Mario Kart World is set to be the launch title for the Switch 2, the next installment in the historic Mario Kart franchise. That being said, many fans have been critical of the console's unveiling, mainly due to the prices associated. Nintendo announced that Mario Kart World will be a whopping $80. Then, of course, as mentioned earlier, the console once again is going to run you $450. Only time will tell if fans will be willing to pay out all that money to play the Switch 2, or if the Switch 2 will stay on the store shelves. For SUTV News, I'm JD Durazio.
Every time I press play, it does it.
Lethal dose is in here. Who gets it, I won't know.
It's scary that it can be put into anything. We can't even see it or notice it.
There's been another deadly shooting at a local elementary school. According to authorities, the suspect acquired the gun from a family member's home before using it to take the lives of innocent children and teachers.
Store your gun securely, locked, unloaded, and away from ammo.
You can talk to me if you're feeling sad.
Thanks for hearing me out, bro.
Whenever you need to talk, I'm here, okay?
There's only one thing that will save somebody's life, and that is naloxone nasal spray. Get 911 on the phone, get the emergency responses there on their way.
The impact of a meal goes well beyond feeding our bodies. Because when people are fed, futures are nourished. Everyone deserves to live a full life. And with your help, together we can end hunger. Join the movement at feedingamerica.org/actnow.
One of America's most beloved actors has been officially declared cancer-free just 5 months after his diagnosis. Families welcomed Dave Coulier into their homes in the late 80s as the comical Joey Gladstone on Full House. The 65-year-old actor was diagnosed with stage 3 non-Hodgkin's lymphoma in October of last year. Over the past few months, he has undergone chemotherapy. Following a recent biopsy of a lymph node in his neck, Coulier showed no signs of cancer. Following his announcement about being declared cancer-free, Coulier's co-stars flocked to social media to celebrate the news. Candace Cameron Burr, who played DJ Tanner, said in an Instagram post, quote, "Join me in celebrating this amazing news. Let's shower him with all the love in the world," end quote. These swarms of warm wishes for Coulier have been a beautiful show of support for a beloved actor. Iconic Hollywood star Val Kilmer tragically passed away on Tuesday. Kilmer, best known for his roles in Batman Forever, Tombstone, and Top Gun, was revealed to have died from pneumonia. The actor was 65 years old and had been openly battling throat cancer since 2014. His legacy will forever live on through his daughter Mercedes and his son Jack. Kilmer was recently the topic of the documentary Val, released in 2021. The Hollywood community, as well as fans worldwide, have been mourning and honoring the loss of this beloved Hollywood legend. I'm Lex Boyd with your riveting bit of entertainment news. Now back to Maddie and Haley at the desk.
It's really tragic about Val Kilmer. I just now heard about that. That's really tragic about his passing. I loved him in Top Gun Maverick. That was fantastic. When we come back, we'll cover Ship Softball's home doubleheader matchup.
Stick around. We'll be right back.
You've done the hard part. You quit smoking. Now do the easy part and get scanned for lung cancer. If you smoked, you may still be at risk, but early detection could save your life. Talk to your doctor and learn more at savedbythescan.org.
Yo, camping buddy. Okay, you guys ready?
Dude, I thought you were driving.
I thought you were driving.
Oh, I never said I was driving.
I definitely can't drive.
Okay.
If you're high, just don't drive. It's illegal everywhere. If you feel different, you drive different.
Ship Baseball faced off against Millersville Saturday, splitting their 2 games. The Raiders started off slow in Game 1 with 1 run in the first 3 innings and were able to pick up momentum in the 4th with 3 runs. They were able to keep it up, scoring 8 runs in the 5th inning. The Raiders took their first lead with Will Oates hitting an RBI single deep to center field. Despite Millersville's best efforts, Ship kept their lead, ending the game in a 12-10 win. The second game didn't play out the same for Ship. A.J. Wenrick and Gio Calmia hit back-to-back home runs, which ended up being Ship's only 2 runs during the game. They were able to keep Millersville from getting too many hits with their defense, executing 2 great double plays. After multiple innings with no runs, the game ended with Millersville winning 6-2. We'll have to see how Ship does this weekend in another back-to-back doubleheader against Westchester. This past weekend, softball was back at home for a doubleheader matchup against the ranked Westchester squad. Game 1 was headlined by Alicia Ball, who pitched the entirety of Game 1 and shut out the Golden Rams with 0 runs allowed and only 1 hit through 7 innings. Sarah Sabosic also had a 2-run double to cap off a 3-1 win in the first game of the doubleheader. The Raiders began Game 2 with a 3-run 4th inning behind back-to-back triples from Emily Lafferty and Caitlin Martell. Sarah Sabowski left her mark on Game 2 with a 2-run homer to put Raiders up 3-0. The Raiders would finish the game with some scrappy defense and team pitching from multiple arms to cap off a 5-4 victory. The softball team was also in action Tuesday for a doubleheader where they split against Mansfield with 6-1 victory in Game 1. The Raiders will be back at home this weekend for another ranked matchup, this time against Kutztown. Catch the action at Robb Field. This past Saturday, the Raider lacrosse team was back at home for a celebration of former players pregame at Ship Lacrosse took on ESU. The Warrior team had a strong start to the season, and the Raiders would have a tough matchup ahead of them to get a big win at home. ESU came out of the gate strong, netting 5 goals in the first quarter compared to the Raiders' 2. The trend continued to give the Warriors a 10-3 advantage heading into halftime. The Raiders came out of half with a much better performance as they held ESU to only 3 goals in the third quarter. Despite losing by a considerable margin heading into the fourth quarter, the Raiders team would show some great physicality and hold the Warrior offense scoreless and put up 3 goals of their own in the fourth quarter. The game would end with a final score of 13-7, but the Raiders had a chance to bounce back yesterday, and they did just that. The Raiders won a shootout with Shepherd with a final score of 13-12 on the road to pick up a huge win from home. The Lax team will be back at home Wednesday afternoon against Westchester for their autism awareness game. The Raider tennis team faced off against Kutztown in their PSAC opener and lost 2-5. The match started off with a big doubles win with number 3 Ava Callist and Kendall Winters winning their matchup 6-1. Senior Brooklyn Rubert won her number 5 singles matchup easily with 6-2 and 6-1 sets. The only other matchup victory came from sophomore Brindley Orris winning the number 6 singles, closely going to 3 sets, then taking over in the third. Other Raiders performed well, like Jade Miller and Corrine Malkovich, but they couldn't claim their matches. The team plays next this Saturday afternoon against East Stroudsburg at Robb Sports Complex. Our friends just down the road at City Island near the Capitol, the Harrisburg Senators, are back and ready to begin opening day tomorrow night. The Senators will travel to Erie to face the Seawolves in a 3-game series to begin their season. They will have their first game at FNB Field the following Tuesday night to begin their first homestand with a 6-game series against the Flying Squirrels of Richmond. The Senator roster this year is headlined by a few of the top prospects in the Nationals farm system, including 3 of their top 15 prospects, one of those being Dalen Lyle, who has moved up in the prospect rankings to the number 9 spot on the power rankings. The Senators will be looking for a bounce-back season after just missing the playoffs last season. Catch the Senators in action all summer at FNB Field. Go enjoy the scenes of Pennsylvania. Now that's all for sports this week. I'm Walker Stutz. Now back to Maddie and Haley at the desk.
When we come back, we'll hear about Shippensburg's April Fool's antics in this week's Ship Talk.
Don't go away. We'll be right back.
I don't remember how it started. Our back and forth. It always came back. Dad! You probably don't remember what you told me.
That was perfect.
But I heard every word.
Now let's go see what Tatiana has for us in this week's Ship Talk.
Hello, welcome to another episode of Ship Talk. My name is Tatiana Steele, and today is April Fool's. We are asking students around campus if they've ever pulled any pranks, and if so, what did they do?
One time I skinned a squirrel for my class, and then I leave the body next to my roommates when they're sleeping.
You are weird, bro. I sent a positive pregnancy test to one of my friends.
One time I had one of those cricket noise makers and I put it somewhere in my house and my parents couldn't find it for about a week. So there were just cricket noises going off every 10 minutes and it annoyed the crap out of them.
So me and a coworker both quit our jobs apparently yesterday, and we've received a bunch of texts from people saying like, "Hey, are you okay? Hey, are you okay?" And I think everyone's starting to pick up on it slowly, but we might still get yelled at a little bit, and that's okay.
Yo, so my prank, long time ago, I put hot sauce in my sister's face wash, and I thought it was pretty funny, but she didn't because it burned her eyes really badly. She had to go to the hospital for it. So, but she's fine though. I didn't blind her or anything. I don't think, at least. But.
So Haley, as an investigative journalist myself, I need to know exactly what prompted that gentleman to put hot sauce in his sister's face wash. I need to know the events that came before that.
And to then admit it right here on SUTV.
To the news,
You
in
know
fact.
What? At that point, I'm just glad that my brothers have never played an April Fool's Day prank on me.
Yeah, I would definitely go for a much less harmful kind of prank, like maybe throwing a very light paper ball at like a news anchor or something like that.
Yeah, like that. Either way, thank you for spending your evening with us here at SUTV. I'm Haley Galaskis.
And I'm Maddie Shively. Join us next week for the latest news on and off campus, and be sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at SUTV News, and check out our website, sutvnews.org.
Thank you, and have a good night.